growing up in the UK, but deciding to come and play for Zambia. He could have easily featured for the Three Lions of England, you know, as well. I mean, he's eligible, having been born there. But listening to him in the interview says, I wanted to play for Zambia, and I can't wait to play in front of our fans. So it's important for many to let them know my roots here. You know, here is a boy. He looks like Van Dijk, by the way. I'm sure I can put Tamba. I will ball out Tamba.
Like Tamba.
Like Tamba.
Okay. Tamba.
Last week nakuzani pa platform that Real Madrid bazamuviniza waka waka kuliwe na Shakira's man. You thought I was joking because I told you those bundles of energy in that Barcelona team. But obviously in the second hour we'll be able to tackle that. But back to Frankie, you know, Chisenga Msonda. And so the father is now back in Zambia. I'm told he's lecturing in universities. He's a professor of mathematics. Look at how he has, you know, improved his life from a teacher of mathematics to a professor of mathematics, Mr. Patrick Musonda. His mother, I'm told, is back in the UK, Miss Carrington. And the other lad, many people are asking, what a tall lad. Maybe Jerry will go into his history books and statistics. I can definitely put my head on the chopping board and say there is no taller player that has ever featured for Zambia than the 1.98 meters tall Aime Mabika. I don't know, they are saying Mabika, maybe Kukula. He says Mabika. Maybe it's because Akulida America. It's like this guy saying Iraq instead of Iraq. so they are saying Mabika, Aime Mabika. But Congolese parents.
The first name sounds French. It's
it is.
It's a French name.
It is a French name.
Aimé, yes, like as in Aimé Jacquet, the former French
absolutely, yeah. So
that could be the correct pronunciation. Aimé.
Aimé. Yeah, you could say Aimé, but as who the playing in Atoya Kuli, I got to learn that Aimé. Imwe kono kuzambi mulelanda Aimé. So pale uli alelanda bamuzo baba Zambi balelanda
bamuzo
Aimé bamuzo. But waisa walanda salaba muso kukolwezi tulelanda achanjeri.
Aluba
kumunangale omfwa. Alaba. Aimé Jacquet, il était dingue. Avec président.
Voilà pusha baraka
But quickly, after Zambia. Every time you have many times for Backpage, Tuliba and Tubambo. One alanda, I didn't have to leave Mulusaka, Congo Shaishibako, Naishwafi Lusaka, Naku United States of America, because now he's on the books of Inter Miami, the club that is co-owned by David Beckham.
And coached by Phil Neville,
coached by the former Manchester United utility and England great. So wale babili bate Aimé mulela dati Aimé imulela dati Aimé aletea namunankwe Frankie for the first time and they only trained together.
So Mavika was born in Zambia.
Born in Zambia, lived here for about 8 years.
Frankie was born where?
In the United Kingdom.
And Mavika has one parent who's Congolese.
Both are Congolese parents. But you can see when other people say, no, Chipolo Polo Yalipwa, Bambi Balebe Pano, Chipolo Polo Baleka Nakutea, my friendlies. Here is a boy who still believes that these 2012 African champions, there's something. Now, Umana, Ngale Foyangaya Mkutea Lopode, Zaire, Simba, but Ale Foyakutea Kuzambi. Because Ale Mona Hope. Umaiche, 23 years of age, Ale Mona Hope. But Bantu Bakulu, Badelemba Piabufima Facebook, Chalo Chobe, Ulebe Pabufino, Zambia is at an under 23 tournament. Kuti Abashani, Wamona poor part, Avika full strength, Congo Brazzaville against Zambia. Zambia Alete Afutina Beni on Sunday, full strength Beni. Kulima under 23, Kulia, yes. Quality upon our Orlando Pirates Academy. Want to Balelaba. But the point is that it's not a tournament.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll show you later on documentation for those that are spreading those rumors and lies. I'll show you documentation which is in my possession because for me, I don't speak from without. and I don't post even on social media from without. Remember, I worked as an investigations officer in the
So you
Anti-Corruption
investigate.
Commission. I make sure I investigate. When I open my mouth, it must be on firm ground. So it's not a tournament. It's 2 friendlies that were organized with the Congolese full-strength national teams,
And
as
these
well
are
as
full A international
full
matches.
A internationals, which will count even towards FIFA rankings. So if Akweba no under 23, walombako wamdalaba Arabi wenyewako.
But did the earlier one count as a full international?
The one against Iraq.
Against Iraq.
Well, no, not really, because obviously we are
That was outside the window, right?
outside the window, so probably not as much. But it was sanctioned, and this is why even FIFA President Gianni Infantino was in the stands watching that particular game. Again, if you want to mock, fans for failures to qualify, that's understandable. But don't use lies to mock Chalo Chobe, Kuseka Chalo Chobe. So those 2, they'll count towards FIFA rankings. And by the way, Benin, some people know it's a small team. Jerry will tell you from his statistics that the last time we played, we failed to qualify in 2004 to the Africa Cup of Nations. We were denied by Benin.
Benin sorted us out.
We lost there. And since that time, we've never beaten them. In the last, the 3 meetings has been stalemates. And so it's a very tough opposition from that particular perspective.
That's quality. All right. We've been joined by
quality.
We've been joined by Andrew, but before he
should have been an English teacher, this fellow.
Oh, really?
Teacher of English, Jerry. Don't make the mistake. I wanted you to correct him.
I've fallen into his trap. You see now.
Professor, not professor class, but professor Patrick Musonda, Baba, teacher, mathematics number professor, Bawishibakwa, naughty, Babati, Frankie. So now in Jerry Kuntanshi, Kesava, professor of English.
Let's start with you, Jerry, then get on to Andrew. All right. Is this a resurgence of the Chipolo Polo? That 3-1 scoreline was impressive. Paul put the Congo Brazzaville coach was full of praise, saying our team is full of quality to go all the way.
First of all, good morning to the listeners out there. Good to be back on the show. Good to listen to Muzo's Congolese accent and Lorenzo being tickled. And Andrew walked right into the firing line here.
Before he could even speak,
doubling over
in
with laughter. But that said, it was a very good result. Good performance as well. But we shouldn't get carried away just yet. Yes, it's a good start. First step to recovery, actually. So let's not get ahead of ourselves. The boys should be commended for beating Congo. Congo is not really a walkover, So they did well. We've got the new coach. He's taking these opportunities to know the players, come up with a winning formula, expose as many players as he can. So next, on to the next game against Benin. Hopefully we'll carry on winning. And well, the coach has committed that he will qualify us to the next AFCON. That's his mandate. And it would really bring back the smile on fans' faces if he does that. So it's a start in the right direction, and I expect we may have some setbacks. Maybe you play another game, you don't win, or you don't play well. So people should just take it in their stride. This is a good start. Let's build on this. That's the important thing. We've got some new players in there. One even made the scoring debut in Frankie Musonda. So very good result. We move on to the next one, and we'll keep the faith that we'll be back amongst the elite names in African football.
Okay, all right. Andrew, what positives can you draw from yesterday's scoreline, 3-1 scoreline in favor of Zambia?
First of all, Lorenzo, let me greet our dear listeners. They're always encouraging us, asking us if we are not done on radio, and so sincere regards to all of you listening to us, and thank you very much for the encouragement. Thank you very much for checking up on me while I was away. But I'm back now, and thank you for having me, Lorenzo. It's a very good start. Some of these names we've just been hearing about them. We started hearing about Frank probably a year now, or slightly more. But here we are today. He features and scores. it's a great. I'm sure he's over the moon, featuring for the national team for the first time,
and then gets to score.
And he gets to score. So I'm sure he's looking forward to the next game. And this is the beauty about bringing in new players into the team. They come with motivation.
On his
They
first
would like
call-up,
to-
he got injured. Huh?
Got
The
injured.
first time when he was called, he had an injury, so he couldn't play last
Yeah.
year.
Exactly. So it's good. We hope that this kind of form we have seen in this friendly can actually go on even in a competitive game, and hope that like the coach has promised, we get to the next AFCON and hopefully do well in the qualifiers for the next World Cup.
Great stuff. We've been joined by Chair as well in studio.
You're putting me on the spot, you know.
I know you're trying to sort out a few things first.
Yeah,
before-
running errands.
running errands here and there. All right, Chair, as the Chipolo Polo Soccer Fans Association chairperson, we want you to make the first point from that high seat, of Zambian football. All right, 3-1 to the good. Happy days are back.
I
in
thought
Zambian
Chair had
football.
traveled for the match. Since
Oh,
he
yeah.
Oh.
Well, that should be the first
Yeah.
question, Chair. Why are you not in Turkey? That's the first question.
These are times of COVID. So you understand that most stadia, they are restricted in terms of funds getting in. And yes, we've seen the World Cup. A lot of stadia were busy, but in Egypt, in Cairo, it was the COVID issues. But coming back home, I think it was good that the Zambian national team was able to win 3-1 against Congo Brazzaville. A good outing. We saw a number of players, coming on board, showing, to the coach that they deserve to wear the badge, which is great, and it's promising. I think if we can be able to, start winning like we used to, I think this will be great. The greater picture should be the qualification of, Africa Cup 2023. I must say that we are in a building process. We need not raise our hopes so high because look, like given what we said when we lost last week against Iraq, when we were beaten by Iraq, we
3-1.
said 3-1. We said we are in a building process, and let's see what the coach can be able to do. A week later, he turns around, that disaster. We've won 3-1. It means that we're still in that building mode and getting forward. Let's see what the results will be. But frankly speaking, if what we saw last night, yesterday afternoon, is anything to go by, then we should be on the right track. Look at the coach, the way he was, shouting, yelling, barking, to the players, trying to get, the most out of the players, which is very good. And we must, give a pat on the back, of the Zambian FA for job well done in terms of organizing international friendly games. I know it's not easy. You need to go through agents, you need to talk to people, you talk to, the powers that be, and as a result, you're able to, to have these games. Look, we still have another game on the on 29th against Benin. I remember it was Guinea that was in the picture, but now we're given to understand that it will have to be Benin.
Actually, tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yeah, it will have to be Benin, which is great. So again, let's see what the boys can be able to do in this game. Let's see what Asanovic is able to do. I'm sure there should be permutations here and there. Those that didn't play will be pushed in, to try their lucky as well, and prove to the coach that they also deserve, the badge. So, in a nutshell, I think this is what I can say. But let me make mention of one woman who I met at NAPSA, at Mezzanine Floor, Building Society. She spoke highly of the program. She is an ardent listener. She said, "Mukamposheleko ba Lorenzo, atinga balanda ile ine Kasai language ile, atindomfwa bwino sa." Madam Manasseh, I hope you are hearing. I've delivered the message to Lorenzo.
Oh, I met her.
Oh, you met her?
Me on one Sunday, right by the entrance, right?
But right by the entrance of NAPSA
I met
offices,
her.
Mezzanine 4, at the Building Society.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. She also said hi to you and the other guys.
The other
Yeah.
gentleman.
She says ija ni program yanga. Wamuzo wakamba manager Congolese accent ija. We nishina mfua wino. So mubakambile pangono pali malekano wamine wanapeza na reji. Pesa makongoro hiyo na gari moja aba nipa tungako chabe ineni dizambi na reti yake
Wani wamuza timba national team danda singo Zambia. Nipa mene bale tuikata bale timba national team wala ba kabidi kuinu no babulela ndate one land and one nation. That's what ishi bapilia. So ngawale
Kano français.
Français. But the bakwe batimba Zambi national anthem. Lo yafika pale one land and one nation. One danda nation.
Absolutely. Now, I want you to come in on this international friendly largely has been about the imperious performance of the two debutants, all right, in Mabika and Musonda. Now, do you have any inside information about the other Musonda? Charlie Junior Musonda. Now, imagine if this guy were to be called in the team. Look at the team that would have. All right, the two Musondas, Mabika there, Mwepu, Patson, Daka. Goodness me, have you had chance to chat with Angela Musonda first before we talk about Charles Musonda himself? So, any chance that we could have Charlie
have discussions, with Charles Musonda over his son's future in terms of international football. And the last time we had the chat was when the boy was just coming back from injury, and he said, look, the boy hasn't had any game time whatsoever. It would be very difficult for him to get into international football. They have always insisted, the parents, that the decision for him
is up to him.
The now 25-year-old. Time is not on his side anymore. But of course, he's been very unfortunate with injuries. Charlie Musonda Jr. At under 17 level, he was captain of Belgium. And we know that he will not be at Chelsea anymore. The ownerless Chelsea, so to speak, because he has not had any game time, and he was told by Peter Cech that they were not going to extend his contract. And he had even offered to play for free, but Chelsea were not interested. And Thomas Tuchel probably has his eyes on other players. There are so many players that they have sent out on loan. Charlie Musonda is not one of those. And probably they'll be looking at those that they have sent out on loan. He had a very successful loan in Spain with a club while under Real Betis.
Real Betis.
Real ya Chile, not the fake Real. Vale fake Madrid, vale kuma 4-0. Janes Kundanje bati umwele ati Lorenzo ati 4-0. Chairman so many of them, they were lining up and saying, please remind you the white man. They no longer call him more white. They call him the white man.
White man. Because of the bashing.
The white man of Backpage. So development as far as Charlie Musonda is concerned, obviously has to do with his club action. And now the policy of us and the coach Aliosa Asanovic is not to call any player who does not have a club. And this is why Moenyachi Wesirio could not come in. And remember, the boy had sacrificed, and I think South Africans have mistreated him as a result of that decision that he took to play for Zambia rather than South Africa. Because at the time that Molefi Nseki had called him to the Bafana, Orlando Pirates were interested. And the moment he said he was going to play for Zambia, Orlando Pirates decided to get their current goalkeeper from Ghana, I think Peter Ofori. And
it's their first choice.
Exactly. And they didn't even get Mwenya anymore. Because now they look like this is a guy. It's like here you want a guy who has been at Zanaco, born here like Mabika. Then he decides, no, I'm going to play for Congo. Then it becomes an issue. And we have seen even with our other Zambian players, Lazarus Kambole is a forgotten guy here, despite cracking records in the CAF Champions League. Austin Mubobo, when he left Zambia, he was the best player in the league. Where is he today?
You can't hear anything.
Exactly. So I think that from Sonda, it entirely depends on his future. And we understand that Felix, Jose Mourinho at Roma, has been interested. There are a few clubs also in Spain that are interested. But I would rather we concentrate on the players that are on the table. For example, if you look at Klings Kangwa, only 3-4 years ago, he wasn't really in the reckoning. Zambia has got talent. We cannot be crying over players who are not probably showing interest. Somebody must say, I want to play for Zambia. If you listen to Frankie Musonda or even Aime Mabika, Eme Mabika, when they talk, even in the post-match interview when Musonda said it was a dream debut, do you know what he said? I thought that Mabika did very well, and it's very good. I'm sure for his family, they must be very proud. So you can clearly see their intention. They understand that they are representing their family when they get to the national team. It's a huge honor. The number two, they recognize that they are representing millions of Zambians. And this is players that are going to achieve. Because first you have to have the desire. Even Muchupo, if your madam all the time, there are young kids probably listening. I thought coming there on Backpage. If the madam keeps on saying, therefore kuya, can I be joined that marriage?
No.
You just say longeni, but in our tradition, unless you owe it longer, not to me no kuilongea. The fish sticker, but
Ero kalonga sign.
But imagine where Safuna, then we don't go please. Somebody comes back away. You are a good man. Somebody else comes, and then but if she always says for the record, surely you'll be happier dealing with somebody who wants you. So even with these other players who are giving flimsy excuses of not appearing for friendlies, each time they are friendlies, they want to be excused, they better watch out, because now the pool is increasing. If you look at the way Lamek Banda played yesterday, it was brilliant. He won the penalty, was brought down, then Computer Mwepu converted for the first goal. The second goal, Lorenzo, Rodrigue Kabwe to Klings Kangwa. Kangwa flick, back pass from Cletus to Tachama to Computer Mwepu. Back to Klings Kangwa
and one for the near post.
Absolutely, just literally sweeping.
In case you thought I didn't watch it,
you did. You are confirming that. You confirm. I know you watched Zambia, so I was just joking. I know you watched Zambia.
It's good to be graphic. There are people out there
who might not have watched. It was a brilliant goal, and the Musonda boy, what he said in his post-match interview, Frankie, was that this is the best goal I have ever been involved in as a player or seeing live on the field. Lorenzo, you saw it. Those that didn't see it, they will need to see it. And if Zambia is going to play like that, obviously we cannot get, besides ourselves. It's just a friendly, and we are still building. They'll get better. But these are players who are willing to die a little for Mother Zambia. You could see even Mabika, the way he celebrated the goal. You can clearly see this is what we want. There must be competition in that national team. Already there are others like Avena Justin Shonga were yet to come. Avena Augustine Lenga were yet to come. Fashion Sakala was said to have had COVID. Then Patson Daka, we understand that he has a family commitment, and some people are whispering in my ears that but to see what our advice would be, yes, this is a window where you can do these things, but in the national duty, find another time, find an appropriate time. All of a sudden, they're talking about so that the coach has an idea. It's like against Senegal, you remember? And people were saying, no, Zambia, we played Senegal when they were on top of their game before they became champions of Africa. Sadio Mane scoring. But again, we are the depleted team as Zambia. The three boys who are now in Britain decided, no, I didn't agree with the decision myself, but they said we want to protect our legs before signing and so on and so forth. They were excused. Number, are you going to be excused all the time? But if there's competition in the team, the moment you say, let me be excused, like here at Backpage, if I say, let me be excused, you think the program will not go on? It will still go on. So we'll still come back. You see what I mean? Because there are others who come in. So it is extremely important if you're going to be successful for the team to have a lot of competition for places. And what we saw yesterday was very pleasing. These two boys from Britain and the US of A only trained with the team once. And the next day they were starting, and Zambia won by 3-1.
Jerry, let's pick it up from Mozo's notes. Patson Dak excusing himself for a family commitment. Fashion Sakala saying COVID. Well, and he's right, he pointed out to a trend. This is not something new. Whenever we have an international friendly, we don't seem to see the commitment to an international friendly from Patson and Fashion as we ought to. All right. What ramification do you think this is going to create if players that we really consider star players for the Chipolo Polo don't get to show up for international friendlies like yesterday's.
It raises questions, Lorenzo.
Mhm.
As Musa has pointed out, it's not the first time some of these players are missing international
Yeah, because we
matches.
remember last
And-
time against Senegal, like you said,
It's
they
like a
accused
trend
themselves.
now,
Mhm.
whereby they seem to be putting their club first.
Mhm.
Because look, these matches are now being staged when there's the international window. They've taken into consideration, okay, club versus country rule, clash of fixtures.
Wow.
So let's not have
Mm.
clubs playing at the same time as national teams. So
Exactly.
they've got that time. Now for them to come up with other programs when they're supposed to be with the national team, you start questioning. I mean, what's going to stop them in future saying, okay, there's an international friendly, but I won't play for my national team because for Leicester or Brighton, we've got some crucial games in the run up to the end of the run up to the last game of the season. So all those things don't really augur well. Would like them to show passion. They wouldn't be where they are currently without having featured for Zambia for the under 17, under 20 national team. So they need to be committed. We need to see that, not whereby there's a match coming up, someone decides he's got a family matter, has to be excused. It may be very important, who knows? But I would expect, like Musa said, okay, maybe I'll feature in one, and then I won't play in the other one. So more is expected. Some of these reasons, COVID, you wonder really. Even the matches that they missed, I think was it the World Cup qualifier when their club said because of COVID,
Yes, there were issues.
rules,
You
Red
remember?
listed.
World
Yeah,
Cup
red
qualifier,
listed.
yes.
So some were even saying, look, this is crucial. It's a World Cup qualifier.
Yeah.
Other players would have said, okay, it's fine. I'll play for my national
That's
team.
right.
When I go back, I'll go into quarantine.
That's right.
But they decided to save
Stay away.
themselves for their clubs. And just another thing, this is the first step towards rebuilding our reputation. You know, we've got teams like South Africa now saying, well, we won't play against Zambia. We're not gaining much.
Not
We'd rather
quality of
play France.
opposition and all.
So what we should do, rather than just
But just there,
complaining,
Jerry, just there. South Africa could be saying that Zambia is not quality opposition.
No.
When we last played them in a friendly, we hammered them in their own backyard.
Yeah.
And I'm glad, yes, Hugo Bruce did not mention Zambia. He spoke about Botswana. But then those who like twisting things started saying Zambia, because even if he said that, there's no facts to back his position.
Exactly.
Because when they have played Zambia, they have been beaten.
Yeah.
Their women came here. Their women national team is much stronger than Zambia national soccer team women, at least in terms of the rankings. We hammered them by 3-0.
Yeah.
So if he's saying Zambia is finished and so on, by the way, he couldn't even beat Guinea.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe just a minute, Musa.
but let me just
let's
finish.
look at it. Yeah.
Okay, let me just finish.
Okay.
So what we should do now is really go back like into the top 10, really
Yeah.
become a force to
Yeah.
reckon with again.
Bale Papa.
So that these
Bale
teams
Issa.
will be
Tule
lining up to play
Mm.
against us. That would be the best way
Yeah.
of responding to
Truly,
such
I think,
flights.
I think what we need to do, we need not worry about what Hugo Bruce is talking
Yeah.
about and other guys are talking about.
Let's
Let's
just
build
do
our
talking
home.
on the pitch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's build our home, improve ourselves. These international friendly games, quality, friendly international games, A games, so to say, B games, will come on their own. Because when you are there, you have qualified for Africa Cup of Nations, you are playing good international, big teams will be able to call upon you. Like much more in this time when there's a World Cup, they'll be able to, call upon you. Come, we play with you. So what is important, let's forget about Hugo Bruce. I know maybe his argument, like I wanted to put in, is that he, on a comparative, basis, you'll be able to say Zambia's never been to the World Cup. And we've been,
He has been, but it's beaten.
Yeah, well,
It's nonsense.
maybe it's that argument. You could be able to
And
look
maybe you
at
took it like
yeah.
we'll learn more from France.
From France, who are
who will
current
play
world champions.
who will play once in a while. Zambia
Yes.
will play them often. So maybe
So you are trying to qualify to the Africa Cup. You start playing European opposition. Does that really help you? We'll wait and see. And he failed to beat Guinea, by the way.
That coach,
It doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
probably he has, in my opinion, he has very, very poor advisors. That's what I can say.
Well,
Because
truth is-
he's a new coach to Africa. I don't know how much he understands about African football. I mean, he should ask Pereira. What's that coach again?
Carlos Alberto Pereira. World Cup
He should
winner.
ask him how
Patrick
Patrick
Philip taught
Philip-
him a lesson.
yeah, exactly.
But
In his own backyard.
But I mean, no,
So-
and
so-
and
so
South Africa,
there's-
they don't
there's
even have the
nothing-
right to say.
exactly,
They
there's
don't have
nothing.
it.
Yeah.
If
I
they were a
mean-
team that beats us, then you would say, no,
Yeah.
there's nothing that we're going to get from them.
Exactly.
They are finished and stuff like
Exactly.
that. But you see, it's our own Zambians.
Yes.
Because he didn't even mention, he said Botswana. It's
Yeah.
our own Zambians who began saying no to Arifa. All of us here was Senegal, we are number one.
Although his comments,
Exactly.
yes, he didn't mention us, but
Yeah.
they coincided with the
They did,
cancellation of our
obviously.
match.
But you know, there were some funny things, and this is why maybe we are having issues. Because initially Zambia was supposed to have gone into France.
Yeah.
And by the way, you are aware that those of you are aware, those who might not, you know, when you're going to France, we no longer have visas issued here. They're issued in Nairobi.
Yeah.
So initially, if you have two friendlies in France, it makes sense for you to look for visas.
Yeah.
But the moment that one country decides to pull out, then it becomes difficult if you want to utilize both days in
Yeah.
calendar internationals.
Exactly.
Then you have to look elsewhere. Then Turkey, they were ready to host Zambia, and Congo Brazzaville was ready to play Zambia in Turkey. Then Zambia began to look, and Football Association of Zambia must be given credit. Andrew Kamangan is executive on this one. Because previously, the FIFA calendar days were not being utilized. On this show would come and say, why is it that when there are FIFA international calendar days to refer
Yeah.
others came and answered, no, even if we play Orlando Pirates, we have been in academy, we have been champions of Africa. This is what led to the decline, where sometimes you grow so big-headed because you're champions of Africa, you don't want to do the right things.
Exactly.
Now, where we are now is that, yes, we might be out, but look at the support that came in Iraq, for example.
Yeah.
Iraq is highly ranked than Zambia, by the way.
Yeah.
But
People
look
were
at the
saying,
crowd.
Iraq,
Seventy-
beat
you can
us,
imagine.
70,
Even when we had our best team, we drew. When we
45,
hammered Italy, only we drew with Iraq. Let me use Lorenzo's word, Iraq. We drew with Iraq. With our best, with our best team at the Seoul Olympics in 1988, we drew with Iraq.
2-2.
Those
That
were
was
yeah,
the score,
2-2.
2-2,
And they
yeah.
scored. The Richard Monza came in. I think Jerry, I stand to be corrected, towards the end.
Yeah.
And
And
Ifo Chabala
conceded
started
a
and
long-range
conceded a long-range effort.
Yeah.
Kayangati, I don't know, but he conceded. May his soul rest in peace.
Effort Chabala had poor eyesight.
Yeah,
The
because-
light wasn't very
Well,
good.
tell us,
Yeah.
I will tell you whether
So there
rightly or wrongly they used to say Chabala could not play in the night, but I saw him.
The floodlights
play.
were dim.
He went
on
to
that night.
Boca Juniors in Argentina. They played in the night.
Yeah, but for me, I think for me, it's good that we've utilized our window in terms of and even outside,
That's
the
right.
FIFA window
Yes.
when we played
Yeah.
Iraq.
Because not easy
What
to
is
organize
good?
this
Yeah,
match.
what is good is not to hear so much what people say. Do your job,
And go on.
work,
Yeah.
Exactly.
and the results when results starts coming. The same people that are talking negatively.
But,
will
we,
not-
al-
will
but,
not
but
able
you
to-
also need to be mindful. There
Yeah.
will always be negativity. But
Yeah,
let's
it's
not-
always, it
but-
was
but-
always be
but
there.
let's not have that tendency of lying
Listen.
against your own country, number one.
Mm.
Don't lie against your country. What do you achieve? If the country is embarrassed, what do you achieve? But those who are in administration, Chair's point is very cardinal. Don't listen to them. You will get distracted. And so this is why we are saying praise must go. Because normally,
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
The moment that Zambia wins, they'll start looking for other things. But us as Backpage, we are responsible people. We have to guide. That
Yeah.
And then it said when a house is divided against itself,
It will
it
fall.
won't stand. It won't stand.
Yeah.
For example, you start looking in the newspaper, somebody says jersey number 11 deserves more respect. It's just a jersey. Anybody can wear it.
Just
If
a
it's not
number.
Katongo,
Yeah.
It's just a number. What are we
So-
trying to drive at by saying it deserves respect?
number
Anybody
won't
can
make
wear
you more
it.
scared.
It's not a club where it's a personal to order. And if
Yeah,
today
players who come and go.
exactly.
Yeah.
This I don't agree.
And this is what is bringing us
And
down.
putting pressure
And
on
we are not,
Enoch
and,
Mwepai signing
as
players.
Zambia, we're not in the habit of
Retiring
jerseys. No, we don't do that
That's alien.
because we know that players will come and go.
Exactly.
You can contribute so
players
much
come
at a
and go.
given time.
Yeah.
At a given time, and others will be able to come in. Look, this jersey was won by a lot of players.
Yeah.
Beginning from who was Simon Kaudi, you know all those guys. You can,
Yeah.
great players. You know all those.
Great
Peter
Yeah.
Kaumba.
Red Card did not say, I've achieved so much now, don't
Retire the
was
jersey.
Christopher Tongo going to wear it if it was retired because of Kalusha's? Others will come and they will do well in the shirt.
Yeah. So
And
what
he
I was
said
saying,
apparently
yeah.
Paulo gave him his blessings.
To
According
What?
to this story.
There's nothing like
When he was
blessings
handing over the
now.
jersey.
20 years
Crazy.
from now, 50 years from now, who will
Jerry,
remember that there was
Jerry,
a that you-
Talking of blessings, even me here can bless you. I'm a blessed.
But yeah, man, you can't only bless Nakawama. Please bless me.
Yeah, the blesser.
A good man, bless her.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, you know, when things don't go well, criticize. It's a right, isn't it?
Yeah.
And
It
criticism does actually build.
Exactly.
Constructive criticism.
Yeah.
I remember when Zambia won the Africa Cup of Nations, Mkapa, ZNBC, Eric Manza came and shook my hand and said, sometimes you are putting us on our toes. For example, Ija jersey green, we used to fight.
Yeah.
Can you make a jersey? I mean, national flag. They would always kushusha. And in the end, when it came, one day I was even surprised, one of these same critics saying, never for a jersey, yes, yeah, 2012 winning. I laughed. I said, did they know how much we fought for that jersey to come on? It's like these young boys that have come
I
now.
remember it was even on Zamfoot. Huh?
Yes.
There was an article.
Yes.
You wrote that article,
I
right?
wrote the article.
Yeah, I recall that
because
article.
my wife was watching with me, Chan, and then we were playing, I think, Ivory Coast. And then she asked me, was Zambia
Zambian
because we are looking similar in the
Yeah.
Ivory Coast.
Yeah.
And then I said, can we have a jersey with our own identity? Like with these boys, we've been crying, bring these boys from outside, like other countries. We've been hammering home, and look at what happened yesterday. So all of us, including
And I'm
the
sure there are
critics,
some more out there who
There are
are
some
eligible
more
to
out there.
play.
Yeah. And what you
Someone
do,
that was
just
just
a word
the
of
net
advice to the Zambian FA. I think let's not stop at this international window.
yeah,
We must go further.
yeah,
When we play here, Benin,
Benin,
let's see between now and June when the Africa Cup qualifiers begin.
for more.
Let's have international friendly games.
Yeah.
If you can't have them,
Yeah.
we can as well play Mamba Select, Mamba,
Yeah.
just to keep the team in shape.
The only problem
The
there
local
is that
players,
you might
yeah.
not have your foreign players.
Yes, I'm talking of the local players.
Yeah.
To also try and put them in shape.
Yeah.
So that these local players who have to challenge the international players when
Exactly.
they come in.
Yes.
Such that the coach now will have to,
A
out
big
of that pool, he can be able to select now at you. These
Yeah.
are the guys that I want to the Zambian national
And
team.
there's that youngster
Yeah.
from who's at Man City,
Jadel. And if you look at the
Yeah.
defense
He's
yesterday,
expressed
willingness to come, yes.
come and play.
Young boy.
Oh,
But
is
why
that
hasn't he been
Jadel?
Yeah,
coached?
18 or
Why
so,
hasn't he
yeah.
been coached?
Well, firstly, I think that the coach also has a say in terms of who comes. Because you remember Ntazana Mayembe, he came here and Micho told us no, he's up to scratch. But meanwhile, before Ntazana was called, Micho was said to have gone to Europe. Because when you go there, you will speak to the boy himself, you will speak to his coaches there,
Coaches,
and then
yes.
when you decide to call him, even in the game against Senegal, I was
See
very
the one he
upset.
kept on the
Can you
bench
imagine? And
until
the boy was wondering because I through my own, I made my own investigations, and the boy was saying,
that
this
was
man,
just a friendly. Right?
imagine that this man promised me when I was out there that I'm going to give you game time. I come here, he doesn't give me. But when I watched him at Woodland Stadium, clearly I understood that was not his level. Ntazana Mayembe. Yes, he might play, and we have reports of him playing in the UK. But when I looked at him, I was not convinced he was up to that particular level. But these boys who now we are talking about, Jadeo and the others, it's extremely important you begin to speak to them. Even the coach, for example, has he spoken to Monyachiwe, the coach, to understand why he doesn't have a club? Because when you have international players or potential international players, you need to speak to them. One issue I had with Mitchell, for example, I asked him, did you speak to Mwene? No, I haven't spoken to Mwene yet. Later on, when he comes on one of the media and says, the coach has not spoken to me. But later, he used him in the COSAFA. Even if you don't want to use him now, develop a relationship. Mr. Aliosa Asanovic, you don't want to use Stopira and Sunzu now. I'm happy he spoke to Stopira and Sunzu. Go and speak to Nathan Sinkala. Go and speak to Renford Kalaba. Go and speak to Kabaso Chongo. Have a relationship. Tell them what you want. Today, we can be speaking about Eme Mabika. Tomorrow is injured, you might want to go back to Kabaso Chongo. So you need to have a relationship. You as a coach, don't listen to those who make noise and political noise in football. You as a coach must be independent. Have your own database and speak to these boys even if you're not calling them. Then when you need them, you just pick up your call. Hey, Renford, I think I have a problem here. Nathan, I think I don't have a holding midfielder. Two things that came out from yesterday's game. The left side where Rodrigo was operating from, there was a lot of loose marking there, including the penalty that we conceded. Rodrigo looks very good going forward, meaning that he is still
He's
part
still
of
being played as
a number 3. The third goal, the header from Frankie, it was a free kick from Rodrigo, meaning that Rodrigo, even the goal that we scored, the number 2 goal, it started with Rodrigo, meaning that he is able to play. But Kawe is not able to defend, and he is no longer the youngest, so he can't run. And when the ball, when we're dispossessed, he will commit all sorts of fouls, and that penalty is similar to the goals that you have been conceding. It's either a player falls on top of the other, or there's loose marking, and so on. So Jadel could be one that the coach should be looking at. But also Kumbuyo Kucha. These two, yes, they look good. But there's no harm in, for example, trying them with Dominic Chanda, playing 3 at the back and then seeing, especially that these others got experience, or even Tandy Mwape. Then you look for a number 3. At present, we don't have a number 3. Then in the holding row, computer, the coach must see the goal that Cleans Kangwa scored and how advanced Enoch was. You don't play him as a holding midfielder. Muzamu Ononga. Yesterday he was playing like a number 6. Again, it's an attacking lineup, yes, but Mwepu is not a holding midfielder. Emmanuel Banda, who came later on, is not a holding midfielder.
Maybe those are trials that he was trying to do to try and see.
But how about those people who are holding midfielders? Because in that team, there's no natural apart from maybe midfielder.
What's that boy who used to play left back? Zachariah?
Chilongosh.
He must pick up. He must pick up.
Back in
boy must pick
He was showing some promise.
He showed a lot of promise, but
he lost his way somehow.
But Shemi Mayembe, when he came on to play number 2, looked very good. In tackling as well as no more. It was very compact and no more loose marking and so on. So those are things that probably going forward. Maybe we might be too critical of the coach early on because it's just 2-3 matches. But going forward, we need to see a stronger holding midfielder. We need to see a more stable, backline, and hopefully Chiwe can also get a club so that he can compete with Tosta, who was brilliant yesterday.
Yeah, but on the advice, I think that must be able to sink into the coach that he shouldn't listen to the football politics.
Yeah,
let him be his own man. Decide. What I'm happy. What I'm happy about him. You see him most of the times at different stadiums, watching games, watching the players. Yeah, from that, let him develop.
Not like that one I used to go to Europe to monitor Zambian professionals.
Look at the players, pick your own players. Yes, you can be able to ask for advice, but be your own man.
Already looks like he's his own man because
which is what we want.
Fans don't like. He has insisted on having him. Rodrigo, it appears he has a liking for Rodrigo, so it appears he's his own man. But like Chia is saying, you make your own decision.